Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to today's math lesson. Before we begin, I'd like you to have your math workbook, okay? And take out at the beginning of chapter 8, there was a page right here, the one that looked like a clock, okay? And what you can do to get ready for today's lesson, don't cut around the clock, just cut across the top and carefully cut out, and you don't have to cut around the red and the blue shape, just go along the yellow lines, okay? And we will be using that as part of our lesson today. Also, please have your whiteboard, okay, a marker, and you can come back when you have those materials. Okay, so for today's lesson, we are going to be learning time to the hour on an analog clock. And if you have looked at some watches, okay, an analog clock, or even a clock on a wall, or maybe some clocks on a stove may have a round clock with hands, okay, and a number that goes around, starting with the 12 at the top and the 6 at the bottom, okay? If not, look at the paper that I just showed you, and that is what an analog clock looks like. All right, so as we continue, we are working on the essential question, how do I determine length and time? Okay, so let's start first with this, a little warm-up. Mario picks a bean that is 6 cubes long. Anna picks a bean that is 4 cubes long. How much shorter is the bean that Anna picked? Okay, so you can just use your whiteboard or you can use your cubes and determine how much shorter is the bean that Anna picked. Pause and solve that now. The answer is 2 cubes. If Mario has a bean that is 6 cubes long minus the 4 cubes long for Anna's bean, the difference is 2 cubes. Okay. Now I want to show you, this is an analog clock. And the question is, how do you read an analog clock? Well, we're going to learn, I'll talk to you now briefly about the parts, okay? Obviously, here's an analog. Sometimes they'll show it in a square space, but usually it's round. Okay, and I know not a lot of people necessarily have these type of clocks, but some people like them. All right, so this little red hand here is called the hour hand. The short red hand is the hour hand. The tall blue one is called the minute hand. Now, the short red one reads the hour on the clock, and the tall blue one reads the minutes, okay? Whenever you see the, the minute hand on the 12 straight up, when you say a time, you will say o'clock, okay? So in this case, it's pointing to 1, so the time is 1 o'clock. Okay, and don't worry, we will practice and practice reading these clocks. Okay, so right there, it's 1 o'clock. Now, here's a little bit of practice, and this is something that you could do on your whiteboard. The times that Laura goes to school and leaves school are shown on the clocks below. Okay, so this is when she goes to school. Now, looking at this, all right, what time does she go to school? Now remember, the red tells us the hour. What is the red hand pointing to? That's right, it is pointing to the 8. Okay, so this is, and it's pointing to the 12. So we would say 8 o'clock, and this is how you spell o'clock. Okay, O. All right. All right. Now, I would like you to look at this green clock when she leaves school keeping in mind that you start with where the red hand is pointing to and tell the person next to you what time does Laura leave school, or just say it out loud. 3 o'clock, very good. Now another way to write 3 o'clock is 3, and then we put these, okay, colon there, and then you write, this is another way to put 3 o'clock. Okay, so there is writing the word o'clock, or there is writing 3 o'clock. I could write 8 o'clock that way, but put an 8 here instead. This is where the hour goes. Okay, all right, so let's continue with some more clocks here. All right, Drew starts and finishes a hike at the times shown. Write the times. Okay, so this time I am not going to put it there. I would like you to look at the orange clock, remember the hour hand, and write the time on your whiteboard. And then you can, and also for finishing the hiking, write the times down and then come back and check your answers. Okay, here it is. He starts his hike at 2 o'clock and he finishes it at 7 o'clock. Okay? All right. Now you can look in your workbook, Chapter 8, Lesson 5. You can pause to go to that page. Okay, now let's look. All right, and again, you're going to take, all right, a blue crayon and trace over this line here for your minute hand, and a red crayon here for the hour hand. All right, and then I want you to think, what time is this clock showing us? Remember, the hour hand is red. That is the time. Think about that and then say it. All right, did you say 5 o'clock? Would be correct. Okay, now there are two kinds of clocks. Okay, we're not going to talk about that other one yet. We'll have a lesson on that one. This is an analog clock, as I said before. The hour hand is shorter. It points to the hour. The minute hand is longer. It points to the minute. Okay, so the hour hand is on 3, so it is 3 o'clock. All right, now here is where you can look in your math book. Okay, notice they've already put the labels here. So use the clock, look at the time. All right, remember hour hand is red. That tells us the hour. Write the time in each spot, pause it, come back and check your answers. Okay, here it is. Okay, where are the hour hand and the minute hand when it is 4 o'clock? Well, let's think. The hour hand is the shorter hand. It tells us the hour. That's right, so it would point to the 4. Do you remember where I said the minute hand, the longer blue one, would be when we always say o'clock? That's right, at the 12. Good job. Okay. All right. Look at these clocks and write down your time. Pause and start now. 1 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Good job. All right, ready? Okay. If you're not done yet, all right, pause it. Don't let this fool you. 4 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Yes. Say the hour hand is pointing to the 12. The blue hand, the minute hand, is still there. So it is 12 o'clock. All right, 9 and 10. There are your answers. 11 and 12. Here are your answers. Take your time. Don't worry about, just remember, look for the smaller hour hand for the time. Okay. Write the time. Draw the hands on the clock. Okay, Ava gets home at 3 o'clock. Evan gets home 1 hour later. What time does Evan get home? Okay, so if Ava gets home at 3 and he gets home a full 1 hour later, all right, think about that. She's home at 3. You have to go a whole nother hour. Okay, it would be 4 o'clock, because if she's at 3 and add 1 more hour, you're just adding 1 hour to the 3, making it 4. Okay, we will practice more when we're in small groups. Okay, Roger begins reading books at 7 o'clock. He reads for 1 hour. What time does he stop? Pause and figure it out. Hint, 7 plus 1. That's right, 8 o'clock. Okay, good job. All right, here we go with our hot problem. Antonio tried to set the hands on his clock for 9 o'clock. Let's look at it. Tell why Antonio is wrong and make it right. Okay, so what did he do wrong? Where should the hour hand be for 9 o'clock? Okay, the hour hand should be on the 9, and the minute hand, which is the blue one, right, should be on the 12. Oh, I was doing so well until that. Okay, that's how we make it right. He has the hands on the wrong numbers. Okay, boys and girls, I promise we will practice telling time to the hour in our small group. Okay, so you'll be great. All right, so I'll see you later. Bye-bye.